Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AMIRUL ASHRAFF bin SHAMSUL. I'm from 80110 Today I'm going to discuss about the analysis of corporate financial performance trend and comparative study of company Ajinomoto and Apollo. So we start off with the introduction of the company. Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad. So Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad is a business company that started operate in 1961, which produced glutamate (MSG). This company is one of the earliest Japanese company to open and operate in Malaysia. Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad has to some extent developed into a dynamic food and seasoning marketing manufacturing sector and has been trusted by the Malaysians for a long time. This Ajinomoto umami seasoning has now become so popular that almost every home will definitely have one of the product. So for the second company is Apollo Food Holding Berhad. Apollo Food Industries Sdn Berhad is a company where they have been processing and produce chocolate based product and layer cakes that are very popular, especially for the Malaysians out there. Apollo products are generally divided into two main categories, which is wafer products and also layer cake, chocolate layer cake, and Swiss roll products. So let's start off with the financial ratio analysis for Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad for years 2018 until 2020. Okay, for the first one is the current ratio. The formula for the current ratio is total current asset divided by total current liabilities. So the current ratio of Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad for 2018 was 1.11 times, while for 2019 the value is increasing with 1.15 times, and in 2020 it remained increased at 1.17 times. The performance of Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad show an upward trend from 2018 to 2020. Therefore, the company is under a good condition because the current ratio shows greater than 1. This means that the company has good financial resource and higher ability to meet their short-term obligation in the future. While for the current ratio of Apollo Food Holding Berhad for 2018 is 76.7 times. For 2019, the value increased with 136.4 times, and 2020 it remained increased at 140.6 times. The performance of Apollo Food Holding Berhad shows an upward trend from 2018 to 2020. Therefore, this company also is under a good condition because the current ratio is greater than 1. It means that the company has a good financial resource and same like the previous company, they are able to meet their short-term obligation in the future. Next is the quick ratio. So the quick ratio for Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad for year 2018 was 1.09 times. In 2019, the quick ratio is 1.11 and 1.13 in 2020. The performance of Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad show an upward trend from years. Therefore, the company is in a good condition because the quick ratio is greater than 1. This means that the company may be able to pay their short-term obligation without relying to its inventory. Meanwhile, for quick ratio, Apollo Food Holding Berhad is 69.8 times in 2018. In 2019, the quick ratio value is 123.9 and 124.1 times in 2020. The performance of this company shows also an upward trend from years to years. Therefore, the company is under a good condition because also the quick ratio is greater than 1. This means that the company may be able to pay their short-term obligation without relying to its inventory. Inventory turnover. The formula for inventory turnover was cost of the goods sold divided by the inventory. Okay. For Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad, at 2018, it get a value of 15.9 times, while for 2019, the turnover of the trend is 13.1 and 12.1 in 2020. The performance of Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad shows a downward trend from 2018 till 2020. Therefore, this company is no longer in a good condition because of the decreasing inventory turnover. What does this mean? This means that the company is less effective in using and utilize their inventory to generate sales, and they have to do something about it. Same goes to the Apollo Food Holding Berhad. Their inventory turnover for 2018 was 7.6 times. In 2019, it shows that their inventory turnover was 6.4 and 5.4 times in 2020. The performance also shows a downward trend from years. Therefore, also this company is not under a good condition because the decreasing of the values. It means that the company has less efficiency in using their inventory to generate sales. Next, we move on to debt ratio. The debt ratio for Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad is 10.2% in 2018. For 2019, the debt ratio was 12.7% and 14.6% in 2020. The debt ratio of Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad was a drop from 2018 to 2020. Therefore, the company was not in a good condition because the debt ratio was increased in that year. The performance of the company also start lower from year to year as the debt of the ratio keep increasing. Meanwhile, for the debt ratio of Apollo Food Holding Berhad is 7.56% in 2018. For 2019, the debt ratio is 7.98%, while in 2020, the value was 7.69%. So the debt ratio of Apollo Food Holding Berhad is a drop from 2019 to 2020. Therefore, the company is not under a good condition because the debt ratio is increased from year 2019 to 2020. This means that the company also is not good at managing their debt, and it indicates lower financial risk. Even we can see it rise from 2018 to 2019. This must be taken seriously to prevent the company from bankrupt. Next, we move on to operating profit margin. So the formula for this operating profit margin was EBIT, which is the earning before interest and tax, we divide it by the net sales. So for the first company, which is Ajinomoto, it get 15.4% in 2018, while 16.2% in 2019 and 16.8% in 2020. Operating profit margin of Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad is increasing from years to years. Therefore, the company is under a good condition because the operating profit margin begins to increase. This also means that the company is able to provide more return because the company is productive in managing their assets. This also indicates that the company already improved their performance. The company are able to provide more return because the company can manage their assets properly and efficiently. While for the Apollo Food Holdings Berhad has 7.7% for their operating profit margin in 2018. For 2019 is 12.5% and 11.4% in 2020. The operating profit margin of Apollo Food Holding Berhad is also increased from years. Therefore, also this company is under a good condition because of the operating profit margin begins to increase, although it drops in 2020 just a little. This is also means that the company is able to provide more return because the company is productive in managing their assets. Okay, next we proceed with the net profit margin. So the net profit margin for Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad for 2018 is 12.9%. For 2019 is 12.6% and 13% in 2020. The net profit margin of Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad dropped since 2018 to 2019. Therefore, the company is under a bad condition because the operating profit margin begins to decrease in that year. It means that the company does not have a better growth prospect and unable to generate net earnings based to their shareholder. However, the net profit margin is increased in year 2020. This indicates that the company already improved their performance in that year and has a better growth prospect, also be able to generate net earnings to their shareholder. Next, for the Apollo Food Holding Berhad, in 2018 it shows 5.8%. For 2019, 9.2% and 8.1% in 2020. The net profit margin for Apollo Food Holding Berhad is increased starting from 2018 till 2019. Therefore, the company is under a good condition because of the net profit margin is improved in that year. It means the company has a better growth prospect. However, the net profit margin is decreased in 2020. This indicates that the company not improved their performance and was unable to generate net earnings to the shareholder. As for the conclusion, all that has been discussed, namely the financial statements, has some extent helped in building and improving the ratio of the company for their final analysis. The difference in the ratio between each category, such as liquidity ratio, leverage ratio, probability ratio, and also efficiency ratio, helps in analyzing the entire life of the company. The trends that have been built can help in determine the profit and loss that can be recorded in a company. This ratio can also be used as a comparison where the data can be collected and used as a comparison with the other companies from a positive point of view. In addition, all that has been learned can be built and improved from various aspects to make a company better. Thank you.